Hey everybody, it's your girl Nici, and we are getting into a little bit of Reddit. We're back at it again with some best of Reddit updates. I believe we've read some of these before, but if not, we're gonna enjoy ourselves a new time. We've got two updates for you. Other than that, we're just gonna have fun with it. Um, okay, just to start off, we got my wife is addicted to the gym, and it's ruining our marriage. There's a new update on it. Um, Go ahead and fast forward if you've already heard this, but we're going to start from the first and go all the way down. This started in February of 2024. My wife is 30 years old and she always worked out and has been in shape, but lately I feel like it's becoming excessive. She used to only regularly work out at the gym when she was in college. At some point she stopped going to the gym, I think lately just due to her schedule, and preferred to work out at home or go for runs outside. About 18 months ago, she announced she was going to get back into the habit of going to the gym. She now had a job where she's able to make more time for it. It started off normal, but it slowly became more and more frequent. She signed up for classes on the weekend, both days, and started going to the gym every day. Then it became the morning before work, and then again later in the afternoon, every single day. If she's stressed, she goes to the gym. Experience some sort of life crisis, she immediately heads to the gym. We have an argument, runs to the gym. She's 4 months pregnant right now, and I'm kind of surprised we even had time to make a kid. I understand that it's safe for her to work out, especially since she's already in the habit of doing it before she got pregnant, but the intensity is not slowing down. If she misses one of her normal gym sessions, she becomes so irritable, like a junkie, not getting her fix. It's just bizarre. It's truly a case of too much of a good thing. Of course, she gets upset when I voice that I feel like it's becoming an unhealthy obsession, and that I miss spending time with her because she's there so much. She has all of these friends and a whole circle of people here that she seems to prefer spending time with over me. Why don't we work out together at the gym? Gym is her time, she says. This isn't a case of me feeling insecure because she's in great physical shape and I'm a fat slob. I work out and am in shape. My job really requires me to stay in shape, so I can't let myself go even if I wanted to. I generally feel her gym habits are unhealthy. She's over exercising for one. There's such a thing. But worse than that, I feel like it's becoming a way for her to escape everything else in her life. She's never actually fixed anything that goes wrong in her life. She just runs off to the gym to go get some sort of mood boost, and then that's that. She also never gets anything done in a practical sense, because how can she when she's at the gym so often? It's to the point where I have to do every chore, and if food is going to get made, I have to do it. I don't expect her to do all of those things, but it should at least be a shared effort. People we know have even commented about it to me. They say things about how she seems different, how sure is at the gym a lot, and many of her friends and family barely see her anymore. Some have even suggested she's having an affair with someone else there. Please tell me that this doesn't sound normal to you. She insists that's perfectly normal. I'm pretty sure we discussed how over gymming it isn't a good thing, and that gym circles are probably not the best place to be at. The gym is its own life, and for some people exercising is a good thing. Overdoing it is not healthy. And we also talked about how the little clicks in the gym are definitely something that maybe you should be worried about. There was an update on the 11th of February. And it says, I posted not very long ago about my wife's addiction to the gym, a compulsion, if you will. She spends most of her free time there. She often goes twice a day, sometimes even 3 times if we have a fight at night and she needs to run off instead of actually talking to me. She won't let me go to her gym and she refuses to go to mine. Her gym is her place. My gym is my place. And that's just the way it has to be according to her. I love to have her come along with me. I've invited her multiple times. She's about 18 weeks pregnant right now, and this is our first baby. She worked out like crazy prior to the pregnancy, and she continues to just as hard now. Caveat on that. I don't understand why, if she has such an addiction to the gym, that you need to go to separate places. You should be able to spend that time if you guys want together. Especially if you're both gym, have regular gym habits. Maybe she could go to her place in the morning and then spend time with you in the afternoon after you both get off work. Um, and if she's working out, crazy prior to the pregnancy, and she's working just as hard with the pregnancy, that's not such a bad thing because her body's already used to it. And she was in that habit when she got pregnant. Had she started working out harder when the pregnancy came around, um, that would be kind of the issue there. Back to it. I truly don't think I truly didn't think she was cheating on me. People suggested it in the last thread and I laughed. You can tell that she's at the gym a lot. She's in great shape. So she's obviously going there. I felt really confident about the cheating issue. And when I posted 9 days ago, I wasn't even considering cheating. I'm embarrassed to admit that after reading a lot of the comments on my last post, I thought maybe I was being overly confident about her fidelity. She usually always has her phone on her, but she left it in the kitchen on the counter. And as stupid as I felt, I decided to do a quick swipe through her text. She has a current text conversation going on with a guy. I recognize the name. The same name of a guy from the gym she mentions a lot. She's friends with a lot of people there, went to one of their weddings last fall. I wasn't too terribly concerned until I started reading the text. Never wanted to know what a guy's what looks like. But I know now. Ooh, that's not a good feeling at all. She was only out of the room literally about a minute or two, so I had to scroll fast. I was furious. I asked her what the F that conversation was about. She started yelling at me for looking at her phone. I told her she's acting so weird and the gym obsession was really bothering me, so I decided to look. And I was ashamed that I did, but that's that I thought I'd find nothing at all. She said, "It's nothing, it's nothing." Didn't look like nothing to me. She sure seemed pretty interested in this nothing. I wanted to know if she's been effing him, for how long. She kept saying no. I left the house because I was so furious, but not before I slammed her phone on the ground and shattered it. She was calling me all sorts of names for breaking her phone. Hit me. She hit me on the back as hard as she could. I left. I went to my brother's house. My brother and sister-in-law were shocked, although my sister-in-law was one of the most vocal ones about my wife's gym obsession being weird and bringing it up to me constantly. I went home. She was in bed crying. She obviously didn't call me or anyone else for that matter. She was laying it on thick. I don't know if you'd ever come home. Give me a break. I took her phone to get repaired tonight. She doesn't deserve it, but I still feel like a butt breaking her phone. I don't know how deep it goes. She won't admit to anything beyond what I saw. Was it sexting? Bad enough. Or more? I'm convinced that it was a lot more. But she refuses to hand over her phone and is now trying to act like I'm this terrible monster who's abusing her because I broke her phone. Not my proudest moment, but I honestly wanted to body slam her after she punched me. I've never and would never actually touch her like that. There's no reason for your wife to have cheated, regardless of the level of cheating. There's no reason. If she's talking to another man in confidence about anything that's going on in her life that she's not already talking to you and going into deep with it, that's emotional cheating. That shouldn't be something that's happening. If she's sexting, she's preparing to physically cheat, because no reason for you to be sending inappropriate pictures to somebody else. The only person who should see your body is your spouse or your partner, and so there's no reason for her to have sent that. But it does make a lot of sense. Like, she could still be working out at the gym, but the amount of time that she's going to the gym, the fact that she needs to go twice a day, she's literally made time for this other person to be in her life. And the fact that she's so defensive tells me that she knows what she's doing is wrong. She knows that, if she tries to lay on the guilt enough, that you might, fix your feelings or whatever, whatever. But there's absolutely no reason for her cheating. And if the other people on the thread were like, hey, she's cheating, and that was enough to make you feel like it's something more than just the gym, then you already knew somewhere, somehow, that things weren't adding up correctly. Even if she says she's going to the gym all the time, and even if she's super, super in shape, there's only so much in shape you can do before you're literally pulling something, unless you're taking steroids or you're literally bodybuilder big. There's no reason for her to be in the gym that often. So the flags were there. I'm glad that you know that she's cheating on a level. Um, I'm sorry that it's gonna hurt you. It's not a good feeling to be cheated on. And I'm upset that she didn't keep to her vows. I am glad you have somewhere like safe-ish to be at your brother and sister-in-law's house. I'm also glad that you didn't retaliate when she hit you, because that could have gone left in that. Um, well, let's see. You have another update, so let's get into that. Update two. My wife admitted to the affair. Well, there's not something she can hide from that. The affair is there. I don't know how she thought she was gonna get away from that, but okay, cool, cool. um, Not sure if posting something in my profile would be seen by anyone, but I don't feel like making another update in that subreddit. Today, my wife asked me to stay home from work so we could talk. She laid in bed all day yesterday trying to get me to feel sorry for her, but I paid absolutely no attention to her and ended up leaving the house to go to my family's Super Bowl party. I wasn't in the mood to go, but I wasn't going to sit at home with her. It really bothered her that I left. She kept texting me things like, "Who just leaves like that? When something like this is happening, who is that cold and callous that they just leave to go to a party?" Excuse me later. Not everyone wants to hear BS. Not everyone wants to hear all the excuses that you're going to come up with. If you had an issue with your relationship, you should have talked about it before you decided to step out. So, good on you, OP, for, doing what you got to do and not staying in that bad situation. I stayed at home to talk to her today. She was full of tears and she's so sorry. According to her, she's really going to the gym twice a day because she likes going there, and that's where her friends are, making her feel good. It's fun for her. She met this guy there and he started flirting with her. Everyone likes him. He's one of the most popular guys there. I didn't realize there were popular people at gyms. She admitted that she flirted back but didn't mean anything by it. She didn't reciprocate much at first, but he gave her butterflies, and she just found herself flirting back without thinking. She said that it felt like when she had a crush on somebody when she was in school when she was younger. They started texting. At first, it was just friendly and nothing sexual for several months, but she'd feel giddy every time she got a message from him. She really was attracted to him, but told him that she was married and there could never be actually anything between them. Well, if she protested enough, he would have backed off, which tells me she didn't protest a lot. She might have been like, "Oh no, I'm married, let's flirt." She wasn't protesting enough, because obviously somewhere in there he didn't get the message that she was off limits. Because if you're married and committed, I'm married, and then once you know that they're initiating some interest, you stop talking to that person. You stay faithful to your partner by cutting people off and setting firm boundaries. But she obviously didn't see that as something important. But cool, whatever. According to her, he kept flirting with her anyways and said, "Sure, we won't cross the line," until they did cross the line. She said that she tried to resist it for a while, but then one day they kissed. She admitted to enjoying it, but also feeling that it was wrong. She must not have felt that bad because she slept with him for the first time later that night. She described it like falling in love with somebody for the first time. All she could think about was him. She was in love with him. Is she in love with him? She doesn't know. Is the baby mine? She thinks so, but there's always a small chance that it could be his. He always uses a condom, so she doesn't think it's his baby, but they were sleeping together at the time that she got pregnant. She loves me. She can't help there's just a huge spark between the two of them. She doesn't know if she loves him. She doesn't know if the baby is mine. She doesn't know why she did this. She doesn't know what she thinks we should do. She should find a place of her own. You should get a paternity test, because, and as soon as that is available, because I believe 2 or 3 months in, you can get blood from the baby and you can do that DNA test. You need to not let her drag this on. She needs to find her own place. She needs to start doing for herself. Because obviously, if she can step out like this, then she can continue to step out. There's no forgiveness in this type of situation. And then on top of everything else, a happy home for at least your child, if it is your child in the future, two separate households. You can share custody. You can, be there still for your child, even if you're not married. Because that's inexcusable. Cheating is inexcusable. And if they do it once, they can do it again and again and again and again. So no, it's not something you should go back and do. The nail in the coffin is when she said, you would really leave me if it's not your baby, would you? She had the balls to ask me that. I told her, of course I'm leaving her. I wouldn't raise another man's child. She seemed shocked. She said, really? With everything we have and all our history, you wouldn't even consider it? She can't be serious. I told her, no, I would never consider it. She agreed to get a DNA test. She tearfully agreed, like I'm supposed to feel sorry for her about it. I don't know who this woman is. She was crying the whole time, but not tears of ashamed or a sorry person. They were tears for herself and were meant to make me feel bad. Feel bad for what? That her heart is apparently so torn. But she had a way to figure this out. This isn't your fault. This isn't something that, you need to take accountability for. This is 100% her. And again, if she felt like there was something lacking in your relationship, then she should have spoke up. That's not on you. She should have had the balls to be like, okay, babe, there's something here that I'm missing. We need to respark it, go on different dates, do different things. But she didn't have that conversation. She had no conversations with you, according to what I've read previously, that indicates that she was unhappy, other than the fact that every time y'all got in an argument, she's running to the guy because the guy's at the gym. Like, that's just how it seems to be playing out. Okay. My wife is moving in with her affair partner. They're in love. Third update. February 22nd. My life has been reduced to a trashy daytime talk show. The woman who was once my wife, who I considered a classy woman, has turned into complete trailer trash. Today she announced that she's moving in with her affair partner from the gym. She's pregnant. It might be his kid, might be mine. She's too embarrassed to get blood drawn for a paternity test. Boo, that's not how it works. You don't get that option. You're not going to trap a man because your mistake. You're not going to trap a man because you decided to step out. But cool, whatever. She's been about a week trying to get my attention, trying to get me to talk to her, to get me to beg her to be mine. I didn't fall for any of it. I've largely been ignoring her, and when we have to speak, I keep it very brief. We've been living together this whole time, but I'm in a different room now and functioning separate from her in all ways. So her pouting and trying to get me to pay attention to her, to give her a gold star for not going to the gym for 5 days in a row, didn't work. Today she texted me to say she's moving in with him. Somehow I still care about this person. I've already met with a lawyer, though. I can care about her as a human being and possible mother of my child without being married to her. Still, it stung to hear her say that she was going to be with him. I told her it wasn't a smart move to leave the house. I've told her she should probably meet with a lawyer. She didn't care about anything I have to say. I don't think she needs to move in with anybody. I actually feel bad for her that she can't just be on her own. I asked her if he actually knew she was pregnant and wanted to know what the story she's been telling him this whole time. She said he knows and he doesn't care if it's my baby. He loves her and wants to be with her. Bizarre. You can't find anyone else, somebody who isn't married, pregnant woman? What would your take on that? What's your take on that? Doesn't make sense to me. He's scum, but he's a good-looking scum who apparently is gainfully employed, owns his own home. So you can't tell me that my married, pregnant wife is your only option here. I just can't imagine being a single guy like that and wanting to put up with this baggage when I could have other options. And if this really is my baby, then what? They'll live with my wife and this weasel 50% of the time? I don't know how my life turned into this mess. And she thinks it's embarrassing to have to go get blood drawn? It's because she can't own up to the fact that she did something shameful. And as long as she continues to do something shameful, she's never going to feel accountability. and you're ignoring her. The reason why she left is because she's feeling guilty, because she's not standing on what she did is wrong. She's putting the blame on you, trying to make you feel guilty, trying to put it on you because she wants to project those bad feelings and that negativeness that she's feeling on you. She wants that attention to see, oh, is he still going to love me? Because if it fails with my second guy, I can go back to him if he still loves me, if he still wants me, if he's still going to do all these things for me. Don't fall for that. Don't fall for that. You're doing so well. Keep it 100, keep it separate, keep things, start, making sure your money's your money, her money's that her money, and only if you have a joint account, only what you need to keep that household up and running, that mortgage going. There's no need for you to keep it, don't pay for her. She's already messed up. Now, if you find out the baby's yours, pay for half the stuff she needs for her to carry that baby safely. But outside that, if the baby's yours, half that baby stuff. The house, take care of that. Keep that affairs, that stuff going, because it can only hurt you in the long run if you don't do that. But okay, my wife has agreed to a paternity test. My wife moved in with her affair partner last week. She didn't take very much at all. Most of her stuff is still in our house. I'm still getting the feeling she was just waiting for me to beg her to come home, but I didn't reach out to her at all. She left. A strange mixture of relief, anger, and sadness. I don't think I ate at all last night. I never felt hungry. Excuse me. Drank a little too much, but I'm fine. I'm posting this update because I received a ton of messages from people, and honestly, it's emotionally draining to respond to each one, and I have to type the same stuff out. I don't feel like talking about her that much. So this morning she texted me to say her AP affair partner wants to get a DNA test done, so she's going to do it. Look at that. It didn't matter when I wanted one, but now that he's requested it, she suddenly thinks it's a great idea. She asked if I wanted to submit a sample because it'd be cheaper to have two dads tested as a part of one package. I didn't even care about the cost at this point. I just wanted an answer. I don't have to see or interact with them all. I just have to make my own appointment at the lab to get my cheek swab. So this Saturday I'm going to do that, and we should have some tests within a week. I'll take what I can get at this point because it's better than her dragging this out for another 20 weeks. So that's it. I'm fine. I'm going to work every day, trying to function. I just feel stuck in limbo. I miss her. Honestly, I hate that she's there with him. It makes me sick. Part of me does want to beg her to come home. It'll be even worse if I find out that if it's my baby and she's there with him. Unless he drops her at that news. I won't let myself beg her. I won't play into any of those games with her. Um, Major comment on that update is from TTI survivors. Have you gotten a paternity test results? And OP said, at 11 this morning, I got news that I'm the father. I feel incredibly conflicted right now. March 15, 2024. An update on my wife's affair and pregnancy. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry, OP. My wife has been having an affair with a guy she met at the gym for at least nearly a year. She's around 22 weeks pregnant right now. She was somewhere around 17 weeks when I discovered that she was cheating. She's maintained that she was positive that I was the father, then refused to get a paternity test to ease my mind. We recently had a paternity test done at the request of her affair partner, and it proves the baby is mine. It's been very mixed emotions for me, very up and down. I originally thought I just wanted to be completely done with her and not have any lifelong ties in the form of a fully blown human being we shared, but I was sort of happy and relieved when I got the results. I'd already had it in my mind that I was going to be a father for months before I found out she was cheating. Sometimes I just have moments where I can't believe that this is my life, that this is the situation that my kid will be born into, and I hate her for it. She's still living with him. All her belongings are still here in our house. I refuse to do the work of packing everything up for her. She doesn't seem concerned about taking any of her things beyond the essentials. After we got the news that I'm the baby's father, she texted me saying she's glad I'm the father and so she knows I'll be a great dad. She was texting me new baby name ideas last night. She tried calling, but I ignore the calls. I only speak to her via text. This morning, she asked if she could come by and get a few things. I told her that's fine as long as I've been advised by my lawyer not to prevent her entry from the home. but I told her he better not be with her. So who shows up with her? The scumgag boyfriend. He walks right on into the house behind her like it's no big deal. She ran upstairs to get the stuff she wanted, and he and I were just left standing there in the living room. She told me it wasn't her fault that he was there. She told him want I didn't want him to come, but he forced his way along. He wanted to talk to me supposedly and tell me that he understood how I must be feeling. No, you don't know. He told me he knows I probably don't believe him, but he genuinely loves her, and he knew he probably wasn't the father. He accepts it and then tried to assure me that he won't try to take my place with the baby and hopes we can just get along since we're both going to be in her life now. He promises that she's fine, he's looking after her. I told him that I couldn't for the life of me imagine that he wanted what he wanted with a pregnant woman who was having another man's child. I found it weird. Then I told him if he didn't get out of my house, I'd punch him. I went upstairs and she was trying to find some things in the bathroom. I got mad and asked her why she brought him along. I told her I find it really strange that he wants to be with her now, that he knows he has nothing to do with this baby. And I refuse to let him have anything to do with my child. She said he talked her into coming. She's sorry I never meant any of this to happen, but she's in love with him now. He's supposedly what a 30-year-old she's looking for, not me. She's setting up a nursery in his house, and I can set one up at my house. She has no intention of trying to get full custody or anything like that. She doesn't want to keep me from being involved in my child's life. How generous of her. She went back downstairs and I followed her, and he's still standing there in the living room. Just walked up to him and punched him. He stumped back and fell into a table. She yelled, "What the F?" and ran over to him. I didn't even care at this point. As if he's going to call the cops, he deserved it. And it wouldn't have happened had he just left like I told him to. Several hours later, she texted me to say she's sorry about today. He really meant what he said, and he's actually a good guy, and he cares for her, and he respects me. What the F? He respects me? He was screwing my wife in the gym locker room. I was like, you can't be serious. She said, fine, I'm trying to have a mature conversation about this. I can't help that we fell in love. Believe it or not, I'm not trying to hurt you, and I want everything to be amicable. This guy stole my wife, and he's stealing my kids too. Sure, I'm the actual father, but now that they're setting up a nursery together in his house, I try not to feel jealous or sad. I've tried to maintain the thought that he's a trash man who picked up my garbage. Sometimes I feel that way, but the truth is that I loved her, and I still love her. I don't want to stay married to her on the principle alone, but this is devastating to me. Bruh, your soon-to-be ex-wife is a terrible person, and this man shouldn't be jumping in there, but you know how it is. Some people just can't stay in their lane, and then she respectfully still didn't have that conversation of, hey, this is what you weren't giving to me, so kudos for you for staying as strong as long as you did. But you did warn the gentleman, and you have the right to defend your home from an intruder, and technically he was intruding on your home. So I hope that, he's learned his lesson to not come back over, because that's not his place. That's yours. Next update. My wife is basically 26 weeks pregnant now. There actually hasn't been much drama with her and her affair partner. I was away for a long weekend last week, and it was nice to just get away from home for a while. Only really annoying thing is that it happened that I told her I'm being in the delivery room, not him. After everything she's done, she owes me that. It's not his baby. He has no right or reason to be there. I will not be the one waiting outside when my kid is being born. She said, yeah, she agreed and never planned to have him in there with her. I asked her if she's told him that, and she said no. I told her to tell him that he'll have no part in it. When she told him, and apparently he didn't like that, he started trying to convince her why he should be there. Next thing I know, she's telling me that he really wants to be there, and she's the one getting birth, so she should be able to say who wants to be there and she wants him there. I suppose she'll start making name suggestions soon. I will try to overrule names that we had picked out for our future kids for years. We talked a little bit, and she told me I can have our house and the dog in our divorce. I'm requesting that we sell the house and split the profit. I've already had that written in the paperwork. I'm not buying her out of the house. A house that I would have made all the payments on anyways. I have a much better credit score than her and less debt. I compromised a lot because she liked this house. I'd rather be able to get my own place based on just what I want with no reminders of her. And there was already no way she's getting the dog. I already had proof that I owned him, though she wouldn't really stand a chance of having court award her the dog to her. The only thing I told my lawyer I want above everything else, not including any custody issues surrounding my actual human child. Honestly, her affair partner can have her, but he will never have my dog. Not to mention my dog is 100 times more loyal than my wife, and some might even say better looking too. Darn, you're just now throwing fire at her. Okay, I see. So, with the idea that I won't be living here in this house for much longer after the baby is born, if everything moves quickly, I decided I will still prepare a nursery here anyways, in case anyone wants to try to accuse me of not being invested prepared for fatherhood. I'm trying to look for at the positives. It doesn't matter what colors she likes or what themes, I can do whatever I want. Honestly, we've been together for so long and have lived together for most of our adult lives. It's sort of nice not living with somebody, but it's sort of lonely too. I have friends and family, but it's hard to feel in the mood to go out or hang out with people too often. They always ask me about everything that's going on, and it's just like I'm tired of being on that topic of conversation. I got a promotion at work, which financially would have been better if it happened after the divorce, but I'll take what I can get. I feel like I'm living in this limbo right now, and a lot of what I do is framed on how this will affect me in the divorce. Admittedly, I spy on them on social media sometimes. Guess I'm hoping to see he's been in a motorcycle accident or something now that the weather is nicer. Hasn't happened yet. But he's starting a new company, and once that's up and running, I can always get all my friends and family to leave 1-star reviews with everyone. Have to find ways to have a little fun. Sorry that I didn't respond to a lot of messages and comments. Sometimes I just take big breaks from looking at Reddit since it can be just depressing as heck. Editing to add something I forgot. She told her friendly that we split up and that she's with the other guy now. Her sister reached out to me to say how sorry she was. Her sister is a dumb butt. That sort of thing. She told me that my wife is complaining about her affair partner. The sex is not continuing when he's the sex is over when he's done, and apparently he's really selfish with sex. He doesn't do extra little things for her that she's used to me doing, like clearing the snow off her car in the morning and heating up, or offering her to make her food after a long day. He doesn't speak her love language. He hangs out with his friends too much. This made me so happy to hear. She's secretly miserable, and I find that absolutely delightful. I see you're lonely, and I understand that, but you're getting your fire back. You're getting back into the mood swings and all that stuff. And I'm glad that you're still, moving along. Don't update us too much about, what's going on legal wise, just cuz that'll get you in trouble in court. But I'm glad that, her family seems to be somewhat on your side, that, things aren't greener in somebody else's grass. But don't um don't focus on him. Focus on your baby, and focus on getting yourself prepared for whatever is coming with everything else that is going on in life. I'm alive, May 19th, 2024. I'm still alive. I'm mainly posting here because several people have reached out to me and were concerned I'd taken my own life. No, I'm not on the brink of ending my life. I think I'm doing better than I have since all this started. Around the time of my last post, my story blew up and I was getting messages from people who saw it on TikTok and YouTube. I had to take a step back because it was a little overwhelming. I have over 100 unread messages here. I appreciate it, but I was a little uncomfortable at the time, and I got to the point where I really didn't want to talk about the situation with my wife and her affair partner anymore. Soon to be ex wife. You need to start saying you're soon to be ex wife, because you're never going to get rid of, she's always going to be your wife as long as you're married, but she chose to step out on you. You need to start treating her like she chose to step out on you. So you're soon to be ex wife and her affair partner anymore. So as of today, our baby is due in less than 10 weeks. We're in the home stretch now. I don't feel prepared at all. All this other stuff has just been so distracting. I started work on the nursery. It is not done yet, but I have the floor finished and the wall painted. My ex-wife was impressed with the color scheme and the furniture I chose. She's not legally my ex-wife yet, but I started calling her that. Oh, good, good, good. It starts to make it easier. I also packed up a bunch of her stuff. Originally, I refused to spend my time packing up her things, but eventually just said, F it, and started packing it. I'm at the point where it'll just be easier not to see all her stuff around here. Why did I leave it for so long? She came over to get the boxes I packed up. She came alone. Things were fine between us. I loaded stuff into her car. We didn't argue. At one point, she started to tear up and said she effed up. I said, yeah, she did. But there's no point of talking about it now. She pooped all over our marriage. This was her muscle-bound butthole to go home to now. Anyway, so who cares? She said, I know, but it's not the same. I told her nothing has been the same since she decided to F him for the first time. Supposedly, he's going to let me be in the delivery room when my baby is born. I didn't even argue it when she said it like that, but inside I was boiling at the idea of him letting me be there for the birth of my child. She said she talked to him and he agreed it really wouldn't be right not to allow me to be there. I'm going to take what I can get if it means being there for the birth of my child. I'm going to try to just ignore him for the time being. She's acting all sweet and laying on all of the I really want you there, I really need you there stuff. And I know mentally I'm not in a place to be cold to her when she starts acting that way. I'm trying to be indifferent more than anything else, but it's hard when she's actually around and starts looking at me a certain way and making me feel bad. She's invited me over to see the nursery they have set up at his house. I'm not sure I can bring myself to go to another man's house and look at a nursery set up for my kid. I did ask her if she was truly safe there, though. I don't know why. It's just been bothering me. As pissed as I am, I don't want to find that he's mistreating her, and I definitely don't want my kid to be going to an unsafe household. I got a good chance my newborn baby will be going home to his house. It kills me to think about. It's also almost soul destroying to think about if I dwell on it too long. She says she's fine. He genuinely loves her. He's great with kids. He accepts that she's having a baby and this is part of the package. She insists it's not weird because she wasn't pregnant when anything started between them, which is gross. Pregnant or not, it's very, very gross. I asked her why she didn't. Did she ever let anything start between them in the first place? She said, I don't know. Just went into a I don't want to talk about this mode and left pretty soon after. Typical behavior from her, just run away. Overall, I'm doing okay. I'm not sitting here depressed and drinking a whole bottle of scotch every night anymore. I mean, on occasion, but for the most part, no. I feel more used to my I'm feel more used to my new normal now, and that'll all change yet again pretty soon. Additional info to add. There's a draft of custody plan now, but the court won't approve anything until after the baby is born. Right now, she's in agreement, but there's plenty of time for her to change her mind, or for him to convince her to change her mind. She plans to breastfeed, but with the agreement that she'll pump and the baby can drink from the bottle when not with mom. Everything I've read says the baby ideally needs to spend time with each parent frequently, without gaps that are too long in between. And it's best if each parent is feeding, changing, bathing, and etc. during that time. At this time, she's in agreement with all of this. I can say that she's not said or done anything to indicate she wants to restrict my time with the baby, other than the whole delivery room thing. She seems to want me to be involved in that respect. I hope she sticks to her word. If not, I will be fighting it through legal means. Yes. Stay on it. I know you have a temporary or pending custody agreement, but stick to everything legal. Again, unless it's, she's coming to pick up stuff, continue to have most, if not all, your conversations through text, because texts mean that there's evidence and proof, and that if she says something, she can't go back on it and be like, that's not what I said. But good on you, good keeping your, head strong. I wish, you things will work out where you can completely stop drinking, but, not everything is perfect, but it is what it is. Okay, the newest update. I'm a dad. I have a baby, a little girl. I'm a dad. She was born yesterday at 11:57 p.m., 2 weeks early. As he's done before, she was having some pains on and off and left work for work yesterday morning. She works from home on Mondays. She told me around 8:30 a.m. she was having contractions 17 minutes apart. Same thing happened not long ago, but by then by evening all the pain stopped. I was at work, so I told her to keep me posted. A little later, she said they were 15 minutes apart and she had some other signs that might be an actual labor started. I asked her if she needed somebody there with her. She said she wanted me to come be there with her. I didn't even mean to volunteer myself. She was scared. I didn't even ask why she didn't call him. I left for work and went over to his house. Uncomfortable doesn't begin to describe it, but there was obviously more important things going on. He wasn't there. She didn't even contact him. She said she just wanted it to be me and her there. In her words, he hadn't seen her pee or poop herself yet, But I've witnessed all of that stuff already, so she's more comfortable with me there. Well, maybe that's a sign that things aren't working. But okay, cool. I really try to be as nice and supportive as possible. Set the whole thing about her affair, our marriage, everything to the side for a brief time. I don't really know what my purpose was being there, but I think she just needed somebody there so she didn't feel alone. She spent most of the time stretching and doing some sort of yoga labor routine and was bouncing on this huge exercise ball. I twiddled my thumbs for the most part and looked through a bunch of his belongings. I was timing the contractions and they were consistent and slowly did get closer together, so I thought it was probably actually going to happen. It wasn't nearly far enough along to go to the hospital yet, and it was getting close to when he'd get home. I was planning on how I'd handle that when she called me into the bathroom to ask her if I thought her water broke. It wasn't like in the movies with this huge gush of water. So he got home and I was there. He came into the house and first thing he asked is, "What are you doing here?" I think he thought something else was going on. "No, you just left and went to work and left her alone when she was scared." He said he was home and he'd be with her until it was time to go to the hospital. Put his hand on my shoulder and said something like, "Thanks, bud. I got it from here, and we'll call you when we're on our way to the hospital." He called me bud. I told him I wasn't his effing buddy and to F off. I could tell she wanted me to leave. I'm not sure she really wanted me to leave so much as she was in labor and the tension between the two of us wasn't what she needed, and I knew that. It was his house, so what was I supposed to do? I left and prayed that they called me instead of letting me know the next day that my kid had been born. She texted me a few hours later to say the doctor told her to go to the hospital. At that point, I still didn't know if I was going to be waiting outside or what he decided was best for his apparent wife and child. I was allowed to be in the room. I didn't force my way in there. She said she wanted me to be there. He was there too. By far the single most awkward experience in my life. The only reason I was able to excuse it was because she told me she wanted me there and I didn't want to miss the chance to be there when my kid was born and to hold my kid before he did. I can't imagine what the doctors and nurses were thinking. Effing humiliating. Then the guy tried to police what I could see. I put the baby in there. He's effing watching and it's like, this is still my wife and that's my baby. I chose to stay dignified and ignored him the entire time. I was there to do whatever she told me to do and my focus wasn't on him. But in any other setting, I don't think I would have been able to hold back. The baby came flying out, and I mean as far as labels goes. These nurses' words, those were the nurses' words, and I trust the labor and delivery nurses to know that they know what they're talking about. She tore very bad because the baby came out so fast. So fast. The baby's so tiny, barely 6 pounds, and only 18 inches, but perfectly healthy. I went home for a short rest, although I really couldn't rest at all. I went back today, and of course he was there. Surprisingly, he said he was going to give us some time alone with the baby. Not sure if she previously asked him to do that when I showed up or not. Didn't ask. He even brought us all food back when he returned a few hours later. I wondered if mine might be poisoned, but I tried to be nice. He's still not gone, and so I'm wondering how long he'll be around. I just can't let myself do anything that will make her try to keep me away from my daughter now. I don't want them making it difficult for me. I'd prefer not to share her name publicly, but I can confirm it's a name we chose for our daughter years ago. He had no say in it, and he hasn't said anything about the name at all. It kills me to see him holding her, though. I eventually left because it was just too much sitting there pretending to be like some bizarre Three's company. I'll know I will get my time with her when he's not around. He's already posting them on his social media. I don't know how I'm going to do this, but I'm going to figure it out. I just have to find a way to be the bigger person because I won't let him or their relationship discourage me from being my daughter's dad. Totally get doing anything for your kids now. If it means anything to have to pretend to be getting along, I will. Relevant comments that were from the original poster. It's not about pick me. I just had a hard time not caring about her anymore. The fact that she's carrying my child made it a lot more difficult. Otherwise, I could have and would have cut all ties with her. I don't know. I still feel the need to protect her or help her. Hopefully, it's easier now that she and the baby are two separate people. Honestly, I consider doing something pretty stupid. She's getting discharged from the hospital early tomorrow morning. I didn't want them to go home with him, so I was thinking about asking her to come to our house instead. It's ridiculous and setting us up for a disaster. It wouldn't be it wouldn't be to be with her. I don't want my newborn baby going home to another man's house. I don't think it's for the baby's sake that I want to stop it. It'd be for my sake. But it's not like we we'd be divorced and living together forever. So we lived together for some period of time, but eventually go our separate ways, date other people, and so on. I can't trust her again. That would probably be the worst for our kid in the long run. At least by being in two separate homes in the first place, this will just be the norm for her, and she won't be able to go through that heartache of being one family splitting into two. I just don't know how I'm going to be able to handle seeing my child going home from the hospital to his house. I'm honestly scared to be present when they are discharged because I'm not sure I can control myself. I caved and I asked her to come home with me when they were discharged from the hospital. I framed it more of like, if you don't want to go home with him, you don't have to. I let her know she could come home to our house if she wanted. She said she can't. Why? Because he's done so much from her. He moved her into his house. They have a whole nursery set up. He loves her. I don't love her anymore after what she did, her words. But he loves her and accepts her even with the baby. She thinks she'll never find anyone who will love her and love our baby too, so she can't risk losing him. I tried to tell her she doesn't owe him anything. Just because he let her move in and there's a nursery there doesn't mean she's indebted to him, especially not when it comes to this big, something this big. She said, I want to, but I just can't. I'm sorry. I left. I told her I couldn't sit there and watch them get into his car and go to his house. As a consolation, I got, you can come over and see her tomorrow. Great. I know she did this. This is her doing. But why am I the one feeling like I failed? This wouldn't have happened if I hadn't immediately shut her out. I basically just pushed her to him. OP on the affair partner posting pictures on the baby online. Today I told him he can't post pictures of her online. He said he was just posting a few pictures to say how proud and happy he was that of my wife wasn't weird. I said he can post her, meaning the wife, all he wants, but he can't post the baby. He didn't seem to be taking it seriously, so I told him, I know he wishes he won this one, but he didn't. She's my kid, not his. If he's genuine about being all buddy and respecting me as the actual father, he'll respect my request. He said he'll understood. He said okay, he understood. We'll see. That's a long one. There's so much to unpack. I don't think this is finished or over. We still have to figure out how the divorce and custody is going to happen if this person posts. But give me 1 second. Sorry, my mouth was getting dry. OP, keep your head up. You're doing everything right. I'm glad that you asked him not to post the baby's pictures online and to give your baby the autonomy, especially in this day and age, because babies and children shouldn't have their faces online until they can consent to their faces being online. And consent is understanding every ramification that goes with posting yourself online. So the baby can't consent to that. So therefore, thank you for getting that down. That's one. Two, I'm glad that you asked her to come over and didn't demand her to come over and gave her the option. She knows she has somewhat of a safe place to go. But make sure there are times where you take the baby home to your place so the baby can start getting used to that. And then when 3 months go along, make sure you're setting up, a routine for sleeping at your place, getting her used to, sleeping there, all that stuff. So don't just let it be just at the affair partner's house. Definitely make sure the baby's sleeping and staying at your house too. With her pumping, there's no need for the baby to be with her all the time after like 3 months. But first 3 months the baby's definitely gonna just want mommy because the baby's growing. She's gonna want to feed as often. Your wife is gonna be making all that milk. Around 3 months though, you can start mixing, baby milk with baby formula, so you won't need as much pumped. And then mom can still breastfeed fully, and you do, half milk, whatever, and just slowly getting that. But keep it even, keep it fair, and never, 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 never take things out on your child. As you know, that's not fair, but you seem to be doing great. You seem to have a, strong head on your shoulders. So kudos to you. I'm really, really proud of that. Keep it up. I want you to, keep doing strong, keep being strong. You seem like you're going to be a wonderful dad, and you seem to already understand that you can love your child and your wife can love her child, but I would just keep your mind aware of the potentials that could happen and just keep, as your daughter gets older, is everything okay? Keep that ear open, keep that love open for that child. Again, your child isn't to blame in this situation. Your wife is, and I see that you're already keeping that mindset of keeping your wife the primary problem. Um, Soon, I assume she's going to be your ex-wife. I don't know how long divorce takes in your state or where you're living. You haven't given us, any of that information. But once you do, I'm pretty sure things will look up and things will be okay. Um, so hopefully things are looking good for you. And again, I wish you the best. I don't think that any of this is your fault. I don't think you're the problem. I think your wife is not sure in who she is. So therefore, she went out to find that. And fortunately, she found someone who's willing to not have to put into the work. But she's already started noticing the things that she doesn't have. And she feels so indebted to this guy that she doesn't see that she's trapped herself, and that's on her. That's not on you. um you've done nothing wrong. You've been open and honest with your wife. Your wife is the one who didn't communicate. So hopefully things look up and are better for you. Keep that positive vibe, and hope things work out great. All right, we have another story. It's another best of Reddit updates. We're gonna just keep to the best of Reddit updates for this one, and then in our next episode we'll do some Am I the Behold stories. Okay, so we have my stepdaughter died 4 weeks ago, and I caught my husband and his ex-wife in our bed. We've read this story before, and again, I'm just gonna read. You can always skip to the last update. Just like the previous story, I'll leave a little red flag when we get to that part. But just so you guys know. But let's read through it. I'll give my comments through, and then it is what it is. Okay, the original post was posted on in May, so this one's a little bit newer. My stepdaughter Rebecca, she was 14, died 4 weeks ago. I've been in her life since she was 7 years old. We've been extremely close. My husband Derek, 40 male, and his ex-wife Sam, 38 male, and I, 35 female, get along very well. There's never been an issue in the 7 years that I've been with Derek. Sam has always been kind to me. She didn't even care that Becca called me mom too. Right after Becca's passing, Sam had so much anxiety and depression, she wasn't able to be by herself. She has no family besides us, so we invited her to stay with us. Sam hardly leaves the house. She mostly just sleeps in Becca's room, which is completely understandable. I always tell her that I'm here if she needs me, and that I want her to take her time grieving, and that there's no pressure to go back to her home. Today I needed to run some errands, so I asked Sam if she'd like to join me and go out of the house for a bit, but she declined and said she'd rather just stay in the house and sleep. I told Derek that I was leaving, that I would be back in 2-ish hours. He works from home. And I told him to check on Sam every once in a while, and maybe try getting her to eat something. After stopping at the post office, I realized I forgot my library book that I need to return, so I went back home to get it. As soon as I walked in the door, I heard moaning coming from mine and Derek's bedroom. I immediately knew what was happening, and my heart completely broke in that moment. I wasn't completely sure what to do, but I ended up deciding to confront them. So I walked into the bedroom and opened the door and began yelling at them. Sam started having an anxiety attack and ran into the bedroom, while Derek kept apologizing profusely. I asked him what the heck was going on. He told me that he made himself and Sam some lunch, and they began to talk about Becca and shared some memories. And then Sam ended up kissing him, and he didn't pull back. And then it ended with them in our bed. They're begging me to understand that it was just grief caused them to become intimate, and they both made a mistake. I don't know what to do. I love this man. I love Sam. I'm heartbroken that they did this to me and put me in this position. I feel so stuck. Um, that's not acceptable. There's no way in this world that that's acceptable. Um, they should be ashamed, and you don't just fall into bed with somebody one time during grief. Not like this. Um, they've definitely been doing it before, but we've already been through that part of the update. Um, but again, you were so nice in letting her stay. I can't believe she abused your trust like this. Um, your husband is a terrible person. Um, and yes, you can grieve with somebody over something, but that doesn't necessarily mean that you jump into something like this. It's just not okay. It really isn't. Um, I'm sorry that they did this to you. And it took them what, less than 30 minutes to jump into bed together because you just went to the post office. You didn't do anything else. So your house to the post office, if there's a little bit of wait, that might be 10, 15 minutes. You handle whatever, and then you drive back. And maybe not even 30 minutes, depending on how far you live from the post office. So this is it. That's out of pocket. That's disgusting. Update posted on 13th of May. I'm sorry about this post being removed a couple days ago. I didn't realize there was an update rule, so here's the update again, along with some questions answered. I decided I'm filing for a divorce. I don't trust him again. I'm sorry. I can't ever trust him again. It sucks because we had an amazing relationship. I thought. He's always been great, so this was a complete shock to me. Last night, Derek came over to talk. He confessed to a lot. Turns out it wasn't their first time having sex like most people thought. They've been having sex since 3 months before Becca died, and I'm completely shocked and heartbroken. Sam also reached out last night and thanked me for everything I've done for her and told me she was sorry. I didn't respond. I blocked her. I did so much for Sam and considered her a friend, so this hurts a lot. More than I can handle. This is all too much. As hard as it's going to be, I need to leave Derek and cut them both out of my life. I'm ready to do so. I am done. Also, some people are saying I deserve this because I should have known better than to let Sam into our house. Around Derek. But you need to understand that I'm a giving person. I trust people more than I should. I truly thought Sam was an amazing person. I know it's unusual to become friends with your husband's ex-wife, but that's just how it went for us, and I shouldn't be blamed for what happened. Thank you to everyone who commented nice things and for the kind messages. You've all been helpful during this insanely difficult time. I appreciate it. I'm getting lots of questions about some things, so I figured I'd answer a few of them. Have I told anyone what happened besides my mom? Yes, I told a few friends and some family members. Most of them are supportive of my decision and aren't speaking to Derek. Where is Derek staying? Currently, he's staying at a hotel. Our friends refuse to let him stay with them. He's lost a lot of people due to his awful decisions. Has he tried fighting me on getting a divorce? Yes. He begged me not to file for divorce, but when I told him I needed him to just let me go, and I was too exhausted to fight him on this, he let it be and agreed to getting a divorce. Why isn't Derek staying with Sam? He told me he didn't want to continue to hurt me, so he told Sam he was done with her for good, and that they have no reason to speak to each other anymore. I have no idea if that'll last, if they'll just end up together, but I truly don't care what they do anymore. I just want peace. What is Derek's excuse for cheating? He told me they just accidentally reconnected one night when I was away at my mom's. He was stressed, we weren't conceiving, and were having miscarriages, so he vented to Sam. And then somehow it led to sex. Disgusting on them both, I know. Feel free to ask anything else, I'll try to answer. Thank you everyone for your support and advice. So, that is a lot of BS, in my opinion. Um, there's no reason for them to have gotten in bed together. He knows that, you know that. Um, there's no reason for any of that to have played out the way it did. And I'm sorry that they are telling you otherwise. Um, it's so sad. It's completely sad that they're doing this. Um, they didn't accidentally reconnect. And there's no way you can accidentally fall into bed with somebody. I'm sorry that, you know, your ex-husband and Sam are terrible people. Again, terrible people doing terrible things. Okay, update on May 14th. I just found out he's staying with Sam and not at the hotel. He told me it's too expensive to stay at a hotel. Sam's the only one that'll help him right now. I had a feeling this was happening. Just knowing that they're still probably sleeping together hurts my heart. I talked to a lawyer this morning and we're proceeding with the divorce and Derek agreed to it. It's actually happening. I feel relieved that he's not fighting me on this. My mom leaves on Sunday and I'm scared to be alone. But I go back to work on Monday, so I'm hoping it'll be a good distraction. I'll keep updating if anything else happens. Thank you, everyone. I'm so grateful to you all. Okay, the new updates start here. Um, Becca's diary. I decided to go through some of Becca's stuff today. I just found her diary in a box in the back of her closet. Would it be wrong if I read some of it? I feel like it'd help me feel closer to her, but it feels like it's wrong too. I haven't told Derek that I found it either. I'm sure if I should tell him. What would you do? Another update. Just a little update. I figure it's been a few days, so I should give a little update. My mom is leaving in a couple hours, so I'll be alone. I'm kind of nervous about it. She helped me stay distracted and kept me going. I don't know how I'm gonna handle her being gone. I'll go back to work tomorrow, first day back since Becca passed away. I'm looking forward to it though because it'll keep me distracted. Also, I did read some of Becca's diary. It made me love her even more. She was such a sweetheart. I went back a few months and thought that she noticed some weird behavior between Derek and Sam. They didn't mention that she knew of the affair, but she just wrote that she thought it was kind of strange that they all three would hang out more than usual without me. I might read more, but so far I haven't found anything that's disturbing. Just her being a teenager and talking about crushes and fights with friends, happy family members, etc. Tomorrow I'll be talking to my lawyer, so I might have more updates on that. Thanks for the continuous love and support. Another new update. These are all the same month, so they're not really new updates. Last update for a while. Started randomly getting a lot more messages and comments, so I figured I'd do another little last update. My first week back at work went great. I wasn't expecting it to go so well, but thankfully it did. My coworkers were so helpful and patient with me. On Friday night, I decided I didn't want to stay home all weekend alone, so I decided to drive up to my mom. It helps that I have a 3-day weekend, so I can spend more time with her. I'm heading back home tomorrow. Also, for those of you that message me hateful things for reading Becca's diary, I just have to say you aren't in my shoes right now, and telling me I'm a bad mom because I'm reading her diary is just ridiculous. I learned so much more about her and how caring and sweet she is, and it made me love her even more. And that's how I'm able to feel close to her right now. So please don't tell me I'm a bad parent for just trying to get by one of the hardest times of my life. You have no idea what it's like. I don't have much of an update, so this will be it. I'll come back and update once the divorce happens, though. Thank you to those of you who have been nothing but kind and helpful. You help me feel less alone. I'll forever be grateful. Sam saw my Reddit post and is threatening to sue me. Sam made a fake Facebook profile to message me, tell me she wants to sue me for telling strangers about what happened. Derek supports her apparently. I don't need this. I'm not allowed to vent about my life to people online. I just wanted life to get better. I'm so tired. F you, Sam. F you, Derek. Edit. Sam is in the comments and messaged me on here too. Blocked her. No, I just ignored her. It might be an empty threat just to make my life harder. I'm unsure. Her Sam's message said. So I was scrolling on TikTok and ended up on an account where they read Reddit posts. And guess whose post they read? Yours. First you tell friends and family, then you go to a bunch of strangers and tell them about our life story. I can't believe you. It isn't just your business to tell. Becca would be so disappointed in you. Be prepared because I think I'm going to be suing you for this. This was no one else's business. You did this to yourself, remember that. I'm actually baffled. She thinks Becca would be disappointed in me. What the F? Okay, next new point. Next new update posted in June. I don't think I can do this anymore. I've been as strong as I can be, but I've been really struggling. So much is going on and I'm just so tired. How can I keep going? I just want to be with Becca. I miss her. I miss her smile. I miss her laugh. I miss how she tried to make you laugh when you were sad by telling you dad jokes. I miss how she liked being in the garden with me. I miss seeing all her new drawings. I miss her beautiful eyes. I miss everything about her. I just want her back. I need her back. Edit. I'm okay. I just need a space to vent. I'm getting so many messages asking if I'm alright. I just wanted to say thank you to those that reached out. I'm okay. I will be okay. Some days are harder than others, but I think I'll get through this, and I'm so grateful to the little community that you have here. Thank you so much. This is a lot to unpack. Just before we get to the next update, you're going through so much at the same time, and I'm so sorry that you have to deal with all this. your daughter wouldn't be mad at you reading, especially if you're trying to get closer or trying to understand what was going on in her life. Just trying to love her that much more. So don't worry about what people are saying here. Um, Again, a lot of people threaten to sue, but do they actually? No. She might sue if you take a good chunk of her husband, her new boyfriend's money, who's her ex-husband, whatever. She might sue then, but I don't know. It's just that would drag out into court, and that's a longer court date for her. I think she also just feels guilty, so that might be why she's threatening to sue. Um, Stay strong, and you have done nothing wrong. Again, just people are terrible people, and you don't deserve to be cheated on. No one deserves to be cheated on. But you seem to be going strong, and I applaud you for that. You're doing really, really well, especially two tragedies back to back. First, the death of your daughter, and then the death of your marriage. So, props to you keeping it strong. Okay. Last new update. Suicide. It's a suicide warning, so those of you who are not ready for that, um, I do apologize. I will reveal these and then we will talk about it in full. First one, Sam took her life on June 20th, 2024. And that's so sad because she probably was really battling depression, but I'm sorry you have to deal with two deaths back to back. Three now. Death of your marriage, death of your daughter, and death of a good friend of yours. Up until this point, she was, at least in your eyes, a good friend. So my condolences to you. Absolutely, my condolences. Sam ended up taking her own life on June 20th. I'm still trying to process everything. She hurt me deeply, but this isn't something I wanted whatsoever. And Derek blames me. How can Derek blame you? You weren't the one to have the affair. You weren't the one to step out on your marriage. And you definitely weren't the one in the wrong. Don't let Derek blame you. Don't let Derek make it think it's your fault. You are not in the wrong. There's nothing wrong that you did here. So, it's just wrong. It's just wrong. It's 100% wrong. And I don't wish suicide on anyone, but I hate that he's blaming you for something that you did nothing wrong. Um, Take your time, grieve, do what you have to do. I hope you're staying strong within your divorce settlement and all of that. And I hope you can get away from Derek because he seems now like an absolute terrible person, not just a terrible person. Um, you've gone through so much, and again, my condolences on your daughter, condolences on your marriage, and condolences on your ex-friend. It's never going to be easy, and suicide is the easiest way to get out of a problem when there are no other solutions, but it also leaves you to grieve, and the people you leave behind, they're going to miss you and be upset, but none of this is your fault. Absolutely none. And some people can't deal with some hardships, and again, that's on them. Suicide is selfish, but some people don't see any other alternatives. So I wish you the best. I wish your ex-husband the best as far as living. He's a terrible person, so I don't want to say I don't wish anything good for him. I don't want anything bad to happen to him, but I think you definitely deserve more in this situation. Um, but good luck to you. Good luck to your family. I'm so sorry. I am. I am so sorry. Hey guys, I'm so sorry that that ending was what it was. That was two best of Reddit updates. If I see more updates on these, I will continue to share. I won't read the whole thing again. I'll just refer back to this video and we'll just update from there. Um for both OPs that got cheated on, um one ended up in a baby with the affair partner being in the picture, and the other ended up with a loss of life more recent than the loss of the child that they just lost. Um, there's they're both extremely sad stories, and the moral of these stories is just don't cheat. Nobody wins in that. Nobody wins in cheating. If you're married or in a relationship and you have an issue in your relationship, you should be having conversations. You should be talking to your partners because that's the only way anything's going to get fixed. If there's intimacy issues, talk to your partner. If there's emotional issues, talk to your partner. If you're frustrated they're not doing dishes or doing this, talk to your partner. Conversations help a situation. And if nothing can be reconciled, nothing can be completed, then and only then do you leave your partner, married or otherwise. And for those people who have gotten married and, made vows, those are covenants. Those are really strong things. And nothing in this world is an acceptable excuse to not continue being with that person. It just really isn't. But that's just my opinion. Make sure you tell me yours, how you feel about things down in the comment. Let me know if you like this video, like and subscribe. Thank you guys for coming out. This is your girl Nici. See you next time.